All right, everybody, welcome back to another Ask a Dev indie game dev stream. My name's Kevin. We do these usually every week, sometimes twice a week with the community as part of our Patreon community, kind of showing everybody a little bit about the behind the scenes of making an indie game. And we are definitely deep in it. I am as fried as ever. We are, because these are released to public much later, we're at this phase right now where I am driving super hard to get our next playtest out, and it's exhausting, but it's so close and it's so cool to see it coming together. Today, in this stream though, I gotta be careful because I don't want to do anything that's gonna break the build, but I also want to do something that's meaningful for everybody to see and not just the same stuff we've been doing as far as encounter balancing and tuning. And I'll show you a little bit about some of the cool stuff I've been building to help with playtesting. So today, we're gonna try to do three things. We're gonna try to implement a boss idle animation to upgrade our swamp cat. We're also going to try to create a whole new race of character and start to tackle the problem of the challenge of giving players the option to choose who they're gonna play as. And there's a bunch of considerations as we load in, and we just got to stumble through it. So we're going to be stumbling through a bunch of that stuff. As always, you all have questions and things like that. You'll hear community chiming in. We so appreciate them being here. Thank you so much, helping keep me sane. Make sure simple things like the mic is on, and also broader things like chiming in, helping me troubleshoot, fix problems, etc. And more importantly and fundamentally, huge shout out to those that take the time to come, as well as the community as a whole and Patreon for helping make all of this adventure possible, and the support, and all of you for watching the video and helping spread the word. So with that, let's go. Today, the state of the game. Dude, the game is good. I'm not going to go through a ton of it, but we basically have, we are now working with the pit. This is the pit. And one of the things we do, let me do a couple things here. Let's switch to a single wave encounter, and let me show you the boss that we're working on. This boss was originally going to be a mid boss. Actually, I don't even have to do that. Here's what I can do. We'll just go straight to the boss wave. Let's go boss wave. This one, and then let's go play. All right, so in addition to everything we've been doing, there's been a lot of support functions, I will say. So things like I can now give myself God mode. I have enemy stuff, debugging type things that I just need in order to develop this thing as fast as possible. But the thing specifically that we're talking about here is this guy. So this is our boss. You've seen us working on him before. Textures have not loaded yet. There they go. What we want to do is, I don't have all the attacks or anything done, but I do have an idle animation. So I thought it would be cool to at least get an idle animation going in here. But you'll notice a couple things that have happened. Just the timing of this wave. Also, you'll see now health bar numbers above. It turns out that there was a bug in the setup where the health numbers for enemies were doubling or quadrupling over time. So I was getting to the boss fight and couldn't understand for the life of me why I couldn't kill the boss. It's because he had like 250,000 health, and that was part of the problem. And so I added the numbers. We probably won't keep those, but as we go to play, in testing, we need some of these things here so that we know the systems are working. And so right now, health bar numbers are a thing. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna add some animation to this guy. And the animation that we're going to add is, let's see here. And this is temporary. This is gonna be stand-in. It also doesn't conform to our image size stuff. There's gonna be, there may be some trickery that we have to do here just to get this in, but I thought it would be fun. So we're in our swamp cat over here. We have our idle. Let's import some images. And we've done this before. in previous streams where we were focusing more on character. So we're not going to spend a lot of time doing this, but I just thought it would be fun because the stuff came in, and it's always cool to see the stuff go in game, even though it's not the focus. Here's the idle. So let's just grab all of these. We'll just open those. Am I connected to Perforce? Yes, I am. Even the naming of these files is wrong, but that's okay. Okay, so we're going to take all of these. We'll do our classic right-click, sprite actions, apply the paper settings, and then let's save these. And then let's create sprites for these. It's thinking. Okay, so we got sprites. We can save these. Now let's create a flipbook. Okay, and this is where we're going to oh, here we go. I don't know why I didn't see that. So it's gonna be idle. Now here's the problem. This sizing, as we've discussed before, isn't right. But let me just open this up so you can see what we're working with. So here's an idle, right? Which is fun. It's really cool just to kind of see these things kind of come to life. So that's cool. Now we got to make sure the size is right though. So what I mean by that is if we go to the pawn for this character and we look at the size, this is the wrong thing. If we look at the size of the sprite, the reason we have common sprite sizing is so that we can get the multiples right, so that everything looks correct in the viewport. So this is our current sizing of the swamp cat. If we just replace this sprite idle with the idle for this guy, idle swamp cat, this new one, let's see how much the size changes. Actually not that much. He is facing the wrong way though, which is a problem. I'm trying to think of a fast way to fix that. Can I mirror? Is there a mirror option in here? I don't know that there's a mirror option in here. There might be one in the sprite though. There's color options. Sizing wise, it's actually not that bad. It's pretty close. Let's check the sprite though. Maybe that's something in the sprite. Source dimensions. Origin. Sockets. Bummer. Okay, so here's the problem. We might be able to try this as a -90 instead. We'll see. Let's just see if it works. Oh, I should go God mode, because otherwise this dude's gonna... Oh! Except... he's not... Oh, I know why. Okay, it's not quite that simple. Let's go back to our swamp cat, and then we need in the anim state machine. We need to update the state machine to have all of the stuff. So the idle needs to actually play the idle. So this is gonna be swamp, this guy, and then the land. All of these play idle right now. Actually, that doesn't even do anything. That's cool. Running also has idle for now, and these will all get updated. to be the actual ones once we get them done. So landing, yeah, there's no animations. Falling loop, I don't think I have anything in yet. Nope. So all this gets updated. All right, let's try that again and see where we are. God mode. Okay, yeah, he's facing the wrong way. But again, this is why it's important to have a pipeline of authoring. But the cool thing is, once I flip all that around, I think it's gonna be cool to see him like moving and stuff. Probably want to speed. Oh, actually, yeah, we definitely want to speed up his. So what's happening is, by default, the Flipbooks come in, and when they do, they set the speed to 15. This dude was animated at 30. And as a result of that, this should look a little more. Yeah, way better. So anyways, that's fun. I'm not gonna torture you all with going back and re-exporting all this stuff, facing the right way, etc. That's just one of the things that I'm gonna add in to kind of just, you know, slowly start to figure out how all this stuff looks. So in the same vein, let's add some more fun art in here. So we've got our card dealer, and what we need, or here's what I'm thinking, like when we load in. All right, so what is, let me see, can I show you guys this? Let's see. If we go and we hit exit level, oh, we crash. Oh no, we didn't totally crash. Okay, holy smokes, this works. Okay, so this all needs to be updated. All right, so this is kind of like the loadout screen. Eventually, all of this is going to change, but for now, it's good for placeholders. The two things that we're going to click in this upcoming playtest, I'm considering removing the obstacle course for a lot of reasons, but you'll be able to click on this, and this will be the pit. And when you click on this, we'll have to figure out what these breakpoints are. Okay, it will load into the pit, not whatever this is. This is, I believe, is the movement gym. But it's cool that it works. Anyways, so, but what needs to happen is, in between when you click on the pit and you load in, we're going to have a new loading experience. We want to be able to allow the player to select who they're going to play as. So in order to test all of that, we need a new character to play as. So in a week, I don't know, I don't think we're going to get it in a week, but I can start building it knowing, because the goal is to get all of, at least the next playtest out there before the holidays. But so here's what we're going to do today. We're going to start to build in the structure for that new character. And this is who we're working with. This is our Owlbear. And what we're going to do is we're going to trim these images up, get them to be the right size. We're going to export them and put them in as placeholders for the three major animations that we have: idle, wall grab, and wall climb. And then we'll have those as placeholders to start the challenge of getting a different character pawn to load based on what the player selects for loadout. I have no idea how far we're going to get with this today, but that's what I was thinking we're going to do. Any thoughts on that, Rusty?
That sounds good. Like the idea.
All right. Let's do this. What I'm going to do to get a frame of reference for how big this character should be is I'm actually going to open one of the exported images from the card dealer, which actually came from Maya, if I recall. Let's take a look at the idle 0. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, so, and this is why we open this stuff up, because remember the whole reason we did this was there has to be enough room within the 2D frame for the character to execute all the actions, for it to maintain the right size relative to the other animations. I think, from everything I've seen. Now, there are ways around that. One way around that is to use a tool like Spine 2D. And I've talked about it. We're going to explore it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. There's so much to do. So let's take a look at a couple things. Image size here should be 1024 if I'm right. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and make this image. Image size. Let's go pixels. Okay, so we're not square in our pixels. So let's do this. We're going to take our canvas size and we're going to go 1024 by 1024. There's going to be some clipping. That's fine. And then this is that. And then we need to know in a 1024 image. Here's our rulers. Escape. Where's the ground plane? The ground plane is at 794. So let's do that. The ground plane should be 794. The reason we're doing this is because I have serious questions. Undo. About how to move. Here we go. About relative sizing and its implications on gameplay for us. It's kind of a big deal. What I mean by that is if this character is twice the size of the Avrith, how does jumping work, for example? How does platforming work? How does going through small holes and stuff like that? Like I have questions, is the bottom line. So let's put this dude on the ground plane. He's supposed to face right. Oh, I didn't. Is this the right file? Yeah. Okay, we'll start with this. Now I'm gonna grab this, and I want to paste it in here real quick, because, wait a minute, that shouldn't be the case if this is a matched image. Okay, cool. So pasting it in like that using Photoshop paste in place with the same stuff, this puts in perspective where we are size-wise compared to the Avrith. And so the Owlbear or I don't even know. The names are all we'll figure out names later, y'all. For now let's just make a good game. But I think this is a pretty reasonable difference in size. And it's probably worth testing. Now, that said, we don't actually want the size reflected in this file, because this file is going to be all about the size that's correct for the Owlbear, so that the Owlbear has room to animate and jump. Imagine we kept them relative sized per a specific character. The problem would be when you got to a boss, the boss would be this big in the file and there wouldn't be enough room to animate it. It would clip and all kinds of stuff. So we don't want that. So let's undo this, we don't need that. Let's just go back and make this dude a size that is reasonable for what we might need, and specifically for the Orith. There's a giant hammer that goes with this character, and we need room for him to be able to swing it around and jump and all that stuff. So if you imagine that this dude's got it's the wrong button. This dude's got a hammer that's about like this through his hands. Okay, all of a sudden, I only have this much space to animate a swing. So I have to factor that in. I'm not super worried about it today because we're gonna sort out what it is. This is all kind of placeholder, but I am gonna cheat this a little smaller. Okay, and let's see how we're doing as far as centering this. 1024 is 512. 512. Oh, look at that. That's pretty good. Okay, cool. So this is our idle post. Let's save this. Save as. Owlbear 2D. I'm just gonna call this idle. Could follow the proper naming. And we'll save that. And then while we're here, since we're here, let's just go ahead and export it. Save for, yeah, we'll do the old school way. We're gonna do a PNG file, and we do want transparency. The matte is none, because I just wanted to take the background. And let's save this, and let's go, where are we? Owlbear export, that's cool. We need a new folder here, because eventually this is going to be images, not just a single frame. Idle. And there's going to be idle, and this is going to be idle _000, for example, for the first frame. So pretend we authored this in our whatever our final package is going to be. This thing's animated. It's going to come out as idle, 000 to whatever number. Okay, cool. Idle's done. Let's do 2 more here. Let's. I'm really excited by this pose. Right, concept is crushing it. So excited. Let's take this, let's save this scene as, this is going to be not the idle, this is going to be the wall grab. Okay. Now, let's save that. And then we're going to keep our idle pose in here because exactly this is going to happen. Actually, let's undo that. Let's go back and fix one thing before we do this. We don't want this line. And I believe this line is, oh, sweet. Makes life easy. All right. Okay. What did I just do? Oh. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and size this. And the goal here is to make sure that our volumes are the same, so that this character in the wall grab looks to be the same size as the character here. Now, I also need to check something because the wall grabs in particular, let's just go ahead and call that pretty similar right now. I want to check the card dealer, which is the Ivarith, Maya. I want to check the wall grab there because I need to know where the wall grab is authored so that there isn't like crazy offsets per wall grab is basically what we're going to. So images, wall grab, it's one pose. Interestingly enough, it is facing to the left. All right, we're gonna, is all this stuff supposed to be facing left? So this is about 602. So if we come back here, I think, you know what, let's open one more file. Let's look at something that has an actual direction to it. So let's do combo attack A. This is weird. This is authored facing right. But the wall grab clearly faces left. Okay, so we've got something that we're going to chase down. because that seems wrong. But let's just get, let's just save this as, this is already saved as wall grab. So if 602 is where it's supposed to be, then we technically are supposed to flip this guy. So, but let me, oh, I do want to write this down. Where's my sticky notes of things to do? Wall grab, wall grab, wall grab authoring standards. Facing left versus right. Like, I'm actually kind of confused as to how wall grab is even working right now. But that's okay. We've got it. One more thing to fix. Okay, cool. So with this, I believe we can delete the rest of this stuff. And we got our wall grab. Cool. So let's save that. And then let's do one more. We'll save this as wall climb. Climb. Wall climb. Wait, did we export that though? I don't know if we did. Export. Okay. This is gonna go into. No, we did not. So we need a new folder. It's gonna be wall grab. Wall grab. And it's gonna go in here. Wall grab, and mimicking what future pipeline will be. 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. Save. Okay, now we can close this. And this is, we don't need the attack combo. I want to check one more file as our reference, because it's been a really long time since I looked at this stuff. Let's go card dealer, my images, and let's look at climb. Climb, here we go. It's called climb. And the climb faces which way? Right. Yeah, there's something weird about that. Okay. That's okay. We'll figure it out. All right, this is climb. So we need our climb image, which is this one, which is really cool also. Very excited about the poses and stuff. Let's take this whole thing, copy it, come over here. We'll paste this in. Holy giant owlbears. Okay. And then edit, transform, flip horizontal. This is our last one, and then we will have all the pieces we need to start to stub in what we want. All right, so let's blow that away. This might be a little large. I think when we look at the volumes of this one, yeah, he's big. This is big. This could be a rendering issue as well, in the sense that when I look at the size of the arms, they don't look too far off here, but the head definitely has a lot more volume from this view, and so does like the armor pieces and everything. So it'll be interesting to see how that feels when we get into this. Like, does it feel like, and what this will the way this will manifest itself is when the character transitions from climbing or a wall grab to climbing, it looks like he's changing size, and that will probably go away. Like, that would not be an issue if from a correctness standpoint if this was 3D, but it is something that we may need to take into account with the 2D. But for now, let's save this and export it, and then we're back to Unreal. So this is going to be climb, new folder, climb. Okay, and in here, we're gonna go with climb. And this is gonna be the first frame. Save. Okay, I believe we can shut down some Photoshop. Save some system resources. We don't need to save this. We already saved that. We are definitely not saving this, excuse me. Definitely not saving that. Okay, I think we're good. No saving. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's make our new character. So we need a new folder. We could call it Owlbear, we could call it Orith. I'm gonna go with Owlbear for right now because I believe that the lore and the naming and the language and all those kinds of things are gonna change. So that's why I don't mind that the characters are called something that you know what you're talking about, but it don't necessarily reflect the exact name yet. Also, that's a very common thing. Things get, you're so excited for the name, you name all of your assets correctly, and then they change what the character does, and it's no longer a brute, and it's a rogue assassin now, or whatever, and all of your naming just went to hell. So, we don't stress about this stuff anymore. Okay, so in our Owlbear folder, we need a couple folders. We need an anim folder. We need a texture folder. And we don't, it's interesting, what was the mesh for? Is this stuff even used? No. Like, I don't even know why we have a mesh folder. Okay, textures, this should have each of our, it does. Okay, so in our texture folder for the Owlbear, not the swamp cat, we need another folder for the idle. So let's go ahead and do that. And in our idle folder, let's import our first image. And that is going to be coming from our character player, Owlbear 2D export. No. Export. Interesting. I probably want that in the 2D folder. Reason being is there's still a world where there might be 3D assets on this project. Okay, so we got that. Our usual sprite. Apply our paper 2D. And let's save that. We'll go ahead and just do all the things right here, right now. Let's just create the sprite and create the flipbook. And this is going to be Owlbear idle. Now, that does make me wonder, did we do that with the card dealer? I don't think we did. Oh, I did. Good. Okay, why? Why, this is a naming thing, I know you all love talking about naming, but why would I call it Owlbear idle and Cardbear idle when it's in the folder? You're thinking it's in the folder, you obviously know which idle it is. However, in my experience, that is great when you're in Unreal. However, if you, there's a couple huge issues with that, even in Unreal. In Unreal, if you're not familiar with it under the settings, you want to check the box for search asset path, because otherwise, when you're up here in the character folder, if I type in idle, it gives me all the idles. It gives me card dealer. It gives me flybat. It's all these idles. So what you can do is you can search by folder. You can say flybat, and it'll show me just flybat idles. However, if flybat isn't in the file name, then and like in Unreal, because it's in a folder, if you type idle, they all show up. It's not in the file name. When they show up in the list, you can just type in the folder. That works, as long as you know what the folder name is. But then when your later future you is looking in Perforce or any tool outside of Unreal, and you're going to check in all of your anims and things like that, and you go to check in the idle, and you're like, it just says idle. You're like, which idle is that? Then you have to go look, find the folder, do the thing. Also, in many dropdowns, when you are specifying what asset you want to plug in, there are still some dropdowns that do not properly search based on folders. And as a result of that, you basically get a big long list of idles and you have no idea which one's which until you select it, browse through all this. Not fun. Anyway, so my experience, we're putting the name in the deal. Climb. So same thing for climb. Let's pull all these assets in, get them up and going. So we got our climb, open, apply the 2D, create the sprite, create the flipbook, and it's named already. Very cool. Save. Did we save our idols? We did. Cool. One more. And then we got to start building the anim blueprint for this thing. Okay, so we need a wall grab. So in our wall grab folder. Right click's not working for me today. Export, wall grab that. Okay. Now, apply this, create the sprite, and then let's do, nope, I don't need both these. I just need this one, create the flipbook. Okay, pretty painless. So, yes. Okay. Now, there is a thing we can do to test this right off the bat for fun, I think. So, inside of our anim folder, I believe oh, interesting. This is why we do this. I just realized we've got a fun challenge. Okay, let me explain to you what's going on. Inside of our game, for our pawn, this is our current character. For our pawn, the state machine that is being used is here. It is this paper anim manager. This dude lives in the blueprints folder. And there are a lot of conversations we could have around this. So I'm going to do something here. And we'll try to talk about it as we go as to why. I'm going to take this paper. Can I create a child of this? I can. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at this paper anim manager. So this paper anim manager it's a state machine. Nothing super crazy about that. But you'll notice that the flipbook for this is the card dealer. It's hard coded. There's a world where what we should do is we should variableize all of these things so that over here, I don't have to go into every single one of these states. I'm going to have to go into every single one of these states and update the idle, the wall grab, the jump, everything. I'm going to have to do it all, which isn't a super sustainable thing to do in an indie environment when you're trying to be as efficient as possible, nor is it a great thing that you want to do in a large scale environment. So a lot of times it's like doing it the right way. In an indie, you can throw all that. No, you can't. No, you can't. It's almost more important to try to be as efficient as possible because the crew is so small, and anything we can do to save time is huge. So yeah, there's get it done, whatever goes, but at the same time, like, if we do this the right way now, this will make it more efficient for me to set up more characters in the future. And then what we could do is have the option to override it. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's take the time to variableize this asset. And what I mean by that is, let's just start with something like the idle, for example. This idle is the card dealer idle. Let's promote this to a variable. Okay, and we're gonna name this. Now, and we could extract this even further. Hold on, I'll talk about it in a second. This is going to be all right. This is another naming conversation. I know you guys are all going to be tired of naming, but this is I want to at least explain why I think of these things. We have a choice right now. We could just call this idle. It doesn't like that because there's other things called idle in here. So the question is, you could call this idle flipbook, for example. But here's the problem. If we do that, then if we have idle flipbook, climb flipbook, combo attack, a flipbook, all these things, when you look at the variables in the variable list, they're going to be all spread out amongst the rest of your variables. Yes, you can group them. That is true. Okay, but a simple change of flipbook idle also would group them in the list in order if you were to kind of like do it that way. So I'm kind of like, I'm wrestling with myself on which one we're gonna do. So let's do idle flipbook. And the reason being is, here's why I'm gonna do this. I think what's more important is that it's the idle, and also Unreal orders of the variables in Unreal is whatever. So let's just make a new category for this, and let's just call this flipbooks. Flipbooks. Okay, so then now we have our idle flipbook, and the default value when we compile this should be this card dealer idle. So this is a very safe change to make. I am not worried about breaking our build by making this change. But let's do one more so we can, we're gonna do more than one more. Let's do, where's our wall grab? Here's our wall grab. So this one we're going to promote to a variable too. Promote to variable. This is going to be wall grab, wall grab, flipbook. I'm almost thinking about putting underbars in here too, but let's just change the group to flipbooks and compile that. Now here's what I want to see. Can we change the order in this list? Okay, hold on. Let's try something else. Let's take it out to default, and then if we put it back in flipbooks, no. Okay, let's do another one. I wonder if no, it can't be auto sorting this. Well, we got another one to do anyways. So let's go back and do climbing. Okay, and here's our climb. Let's promote this to a variable. And this is going to be climb flipbook. Climb flipbook. And it's going to go in the flipbooks. Yeah, see, it doesn't put them in order. Like they're not in order. Let's do a quick search on the web. Is there a way Is there a way to reorder variables in Unreal Blueprint?
If it's anything like the components, I think it's not possible.
This says yes. You can do it by dragging and dropping them or assigning them custom categories. However, I am not getting any. Oh, actually that did work. We learn something new every day. Okay, so you just drag and drop. So if I want these in order,
All right.
there we go. So, do I really need Flipbook in the name? Yeah, I'm keeping Flipbook in the name. But because I can order this, I think I'm happy with having. The most important to me is I know when I look at this that it's climb right off the bat. So that's cool. So now let's go through our state machine and see. Let's just go through each of the states and make sure we've got this stuff set up. So this one's been variablized. This landing is car dealer jump land. So let's promote this to a variable. This is going to be jump land flipbook. Is that easier to read? I don't know like that. Flipbook. And this is going to go in the Flipbooks category, and it comes before the wall grab. Cool. So that's landing. We need our run. Yeah, we're not gonna call it run Naruto. That's funny. Okay, this is gonna be run flipbook. It's gonna go in the default, not the default category. It's gonna go in our Flipbooks category, and then get moved up. Cool. So we've done run, land. We'll do jump, wind up. What is this? Jump, jump, flip. Oh, okay. So. And this is where variablizing this stuff starts to become a question of, should we, how reusable is this going to be? Right now, there's 2 different jumps per character to make it just feel better when you're jumping. So we're going to promote this to a variable. This is going to be jump a flipbook. And then this one's going to be jump B flipbook. Jump B flipbook. Both of these are going to go into the flipbooks. Flipbooks. And they are going to go above jump land. Jump A, jump B. Oh, wait. We also have jump falling loop. Okay, promote this and jump falling loop. Okay, we only need one of these. Promote to variable. This is going to be wait, why are there 3 of those? Oh, because it's already... Oh, interesting. Okay. Because we are using variables in here. Okay, so this is going to be... Yeah, this is important. We need to make sure we're renaming the right thing. So this is going to be jump A, falling loop, flipbook. Jump A. I'm wondering, are we really gonna make more than let's not do that. Let's just call this jump falling loop. Let's just assume we're gonna author 1 falling loop for right now. Save ourselves some cycles. So that's gonna be, we'll put that after the jumps. Before the lands. Okay, and then this should also be a jump falling loop. It is. if we want to increase the amount of stuff we have to author, we can always do that later if we actually get this thing shipped. So when we get this thing shipped, we're going to do it. There is a version of whatever that we are shipping you all. Okay, so this has all been variableized. That's good. Following loop check. That's just the previous variables, which is cool. And then that's the active following loop. That's cool. That's why we variableized that in the first place. This is the jump. We already did that. Wait, did we? Oh, this is active jump. That's why. Okay. So that's how it's determining. And then this is climbing. That one's variableized. Wall grab we did. Slide, did we do slide? We did not do slide. So let's promote this to a variable. This is going to be slide flipbook. This is going to go into Flipbooks. And it's going to go above here. Okay, now we got crouch. Loop, okay, promote this to a variable. We're going to go crouch, loop, flipbook. And then this is going to go into Flipbooks. And this is going to come above idle. And then we got a couple more and then we're almost done, and you will get to see all of the wins from doing this. This is going to be crouch flipbook. Flipbook. It's going to be in the Flipbooks category, and it is going to go above that. And then we have electrocute and combo attack. So this should just be shocked. Yeah, we should probably call it electrocute. Let's do... No, we'll do shocked. Shocked flipbook. Electrocute's too hard to spell. Okay, Flipbooks. And this is going to be H-I. And then finally the combo attack. Oh, okay. Our combo attack anims is set on the character. It's interesting that we did that. I'm not sure. We probably did that for... I don't know why we did that. Let me write a note to myself. Combo attack. I don't know why that's on the character. Combo attack variable in the state machine on the pawn. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, now let's talk about where we're at. This is cool. So here's the cool thing. As a result of doing this work, if you were to ask me, what does it take to bring a character online, minimum bar, for the current state of the game, this is everything we need. We need a climb, a crouch loop, an idle, jump A, jump B. I can now take this list of assets and I can make, I can schedule it, I can outsource it. These are the animations I need to bring a character to life. And I have a very succinct list, and these are the requirements, which is great. Now, let's talk a little bit about the location of these. Currently, these live on this state machine. And we can now override these. So here's what we're going to do. Let's go compile save. And what we'll do is we'll go here. Let's create a child of this. Okay, and this is going to be the Owlbear. The Owlbear anim manager. I don't know if I want to call it manager. Anim state machine. And we're just going to go anim state machine for right now. Let's just go with that. And we're going to put this in the Owlbear anim folder. move here. Now, when we open this guy, what do we see? Yes, this is what I was hoping for. I think, I don't know, I've never tried this. Let's do this. So this worked in the sense that all of our stuff is here. It's all variables. We can just drag and drop now, which is cool. However, there are a couple things I do want to change. I want these two. I want this active jump to be private. And I want this active jump falling loop to be private. Compile and save. So that when I'm monkeying with this one, I don't accidentally change something I'm not supposed to. Same thing for falling loop jump count. Let's make that private. So we're not changing things we shouldn't be. So here's all our flipbooks. Cool. Here's the question. I'm curious. Let's go. Let's do let's save all. Swamp cat. Yep, I'm gonna check those out. To test this, let's do a couple things. First off, let's play the game. Okay, first off, a character is right now still running. So the question is, did we do anything that broke the core Anim blueprint? Okay, I can still crouch. Okay, cool. And do we have both jumps? So that was the spinny jump, that was the vertical jump, that was the spinny jump. Also, you'll notice jump is a lot higher now. It is a big change I made. One big jump. Alex, that's a game design feels question. So animation blueprint still works. Let's change this. If we're right and variableizing all this works and the state machine, so what should happen is this Owlbear state machine should execute all of these state machine things by default. If it works like inherent. I've never tried to override a state machine before, so that's what we're going to try to do. So if we go to our hero pawn, do we have it open? We do, in fact. And we take our state machine, and rather than using the Anim manager, if we use the Owlbear Anim state machine, we have all of our stuff here. If we compile this, does our character still work the same way? It does. So what that means now, this is why we did all this. This is cool. Okay, now let's go to the Owlbear state machine and let's update the assets that it's using. So for that, let's go to our Owlbear. This is gonna be cool, I hope. All right, cool bear. Wait, card dealer, Owlbear, idle. Let's grab this flipbook. Okay, and what we need is idle. So we'll replace the idle. And then let's go replace the climb with our climb. So that's this one. And then our wall grab. This one is the one I'm really excited to see. Let's replace our wall grab with this one. Okay, now what we're gonna see if this works is our character is gonna be flickering between the different sprites. So when we start off, okay, we definitely have problems. Okay, I knew this was gonna happen because we missed a step in our thing. And the step we missed, but you can see we switched from the Owlbear. Oh, I don't have a wall I can climb in here? Come on. Okay, we're gonna get a wall in here too. But let's make some fixes. So the fixes are for the flipbooks, no, for the sprites. We have to set our pivots. We use custom pivots for our sprites. So let me remember what those are, because it's been a long time since we've done arts and crafts time. That's not the right thing. We need the sprite. Okay, so there it is, custom pivot point, 512.794. custom pivot point 512 794. Okay, so the character moves up. That's what we want. Then let's do the same thing for the climb. And not the flipbook, man. Come on. For the climb and the idle. Okay, so we need a custom pivot, 794. And then same thing for the climb, custom pivot, 794. And then we don't need this. And then this is this sprite. And right now it's worth noting that our pixels per unit is 2. That sets the scaling. So we're gonna take a look at this in a second. So let's save these for now. All right, now before we play, let's get a climbable wall in here. But I don't remember how to do that. Let's see here. I used to have walls, so I used to have walls on this level, but I got rid of them because the pit is, there is no way out. There's no way out. So let's just for the purpose of testing, let's drop in a wall that we can climb. And we should be able to change. Okay, we'll see if we can climb this thing. Okay, first off, look at that. We got an owlbear. Okay, he turns into this is exactly what I was expecting would happen, and this is how the override works. Okay, so the he's probably, if I'm guessing, dude's big. Okay, so we need to change we need to change our scale size here to get the size we want. Now here's the thing. Oh, I can't climb this. Oh, there it was.
Yeah, you did.
But there's something, I think there's a tag I have to put on it. Hold on. Not rag, tag. Can climb, yeah, I need a can climb tag. So let's go ahead and take this, add a tag, can climb. And let's try that again. Full screen, maximum effect. Come on. That's pretty cool. That's gonna look so cool. But dude's large, man. Like, it's so big. So big. Okay, so like, but that's kind of cool. This is gonna be really cool. Okay, so now let's try to find the right sizing for this character. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to these things, and what we're gonna try is, let's try 1.5 and 1.5 and 1.5. And then let's save all those. What's interesting is that moved down. Okay, that might be too small. No, maybe not. He is bigger. Okay, so if he's, here's the thing. If he's, so this dude is as tall as, he's basically 250 units tall, right? And then from a climbing standpoint, it's not that bad.
That's bang on the money, I would say.
I don't know, man. That's kind of cool. Okay, so the point of this whole exercise was... Oh, actually, we blew past time. Sorry about that, y'all. But let's do a wrap up. The cool thing about that, and we didn't get to everything we wanted to get to today, but that's okay. Okay, but the cool thing is, what we've got is we now have. Let me just save everything before it all crashes, and then we'll do a wrap up. Okay, we basically now have an overridable, more sustainable way of working. So what we're going to do is, as we author these animations, we will just plug them in. And what we can do while we're testing the Owlbear is we can replace the run with the idle. It doesn't matter if he doesn't run yet, or a single pose. And basically we can bring this whole character online with, what did we say? How many? We said it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 poses. 12 poses. We could bring this whole character online. Start to understand the implications of size differences between our characters, the changes that it's going to have on visual effects, on level design, like combat, everything. And we can do that with 12 poses, which is cool. And it's minimal work for us to do to change it out once we actually do the full and real and final animations and things like that. So it's a really cool thing. It's one of the the beauties of being able to override blueprints and why we use variables and all these kind of things. So before we wrap up, any questions for the live stream that you want to chime in with?
Yeah, maybe just the one pertaining to the resizing your character there. Do you just eyeball it just for the sake of it, or do you just try to find items on the character to find a more consistent resizing to have like something that makes sense? For instance, you had like the character has like loads big medallions on his armor. Do you try to focus on getting those to match from one flipbook to another, or do you just go, nah, I can make that work with
Oh,
whatever?
you mean between flipbooks? You don't mean across characters?
No, across the same character when you want to resize
Okay.
something.
Yes. So that is actually that's just pure art, proportion, and volumes, right? So, for example, none of those sizing questions would be a question at all if it was 3D, with one caveat. Because what I mean by that is, and this, it's a good thing and it can get weaponized. So here's what I mean. You build a 3D model. It is proportionally and measuredly accurate. It is the character size. When you render that in a camera, the size of the medallion from the front or the side or whatever is the same. It is accurate. It is world space accurate. But it doesn't matter if the art director looks at it and is like, why do the medallions look so giant from the side view? And you can't, well, you could, but generally speaking, you're not going to say, well, it is exactly, 15 centimeters across and it is world space accurate to the T. No, like, that's just not the way the conversations go. It's like, I haven't really heard conversations quite like that. Usually it's more just like an overall thing where the character in the lineup is, usually the way I see these conversations is, the character is the right scale in the lineup of characters, but when you're playing it in game, it feels too big or it feels too small as a whole. There might be callouts that the tassel or this breastplate or this shoulder pauldron is too big and it's moving too much and it's distracting. I haven't really heard anything where the conversation is from the left side view, the pauldron is it's too big relative to, it doesn't look proportionally accurate. I have heard from when we're looking at the character from the left, the pauldron is too big and in our face and distracting. But the solve for that is not like measuring between views, right? When we're talking about 3D. And so my point is, if you just extract that out to the 2D stuff, I think it is there is potentially an avenue to have the note that the volumes don't feel the same from the side view. Let's shrink up some of those, detail features or make changes, etc., so that the volumes feel better, because it's not like necessarily 100% proportionally accurate. But in that case, artists are amazing, right? They see these things and they want them to look proportionally accurate and stuff like that. So generally speaking, it's just not been my experience that that's something that you have to kick around beyond, hey, it just looks a little bit bigger, what do you think? And they're like, yeah, I agree, whatever. Like, just beyond the normal creative, everybody wants to improve their craft notes. That's been my experience. I think that I think there'll probably be a larger conversation around the volumes and stuff like that, is my guess.
More about what feels good rather than what
Yeah.
looks precisely accurate. No, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Though.
And if we're literally talking about the fact that the medallions are too big in the side view for the climbing animation of the owlbear, as opposed to owlbear breaks combat or owlbear looks weird compared to Avarith, like card deal, like my level of stoke is gonna be beyond, like, so I'm gonna be like, oh hell yeah. So anyways, cool.
That's fair enough.
All right, let's call this a wrap, and then I'll come back and we'll just kind of chit chat about some general updates and stuff that are going on. As always, everybody, thanks for joining me on this journey. We appreciate the community's support, your feedback, playtest. Hopefully, by the time you see this video, you have all been playtesting. The game should, the next phase of playtesting should be out by then. And in the meantime, backdated thank yous for all your support along the way, and I will see you in an upcoming live stream or something like that. Hope you have an amazing day. Take it easy.
That's all right. You had one watcher on the stream there at the end, I think, or I don't know when he jumped in. Like Savist was just said something on YouTube. Is it not open for like just for the Patreon members, right? Yeah. No, but you've got like a really cool system going on now for the Flipbooks. How granular do you think you can get, like in terms of switching different Flipbooks for very particular events in the game? Yeah. Hold on. Let me have a look here. I was on it just now. I think it's still live. Yeah. Yeah, it was still live. I think it's still live. Yeah.